This one's going to be kind of controversial, especially for all of my fellow Texans. I know how much you guys like guns and knives and stuff, and I like guns and knives too, but I don't own any. I still own one knife. I'm in for self-defense. I don't carry it anymore, and I don't own any guns. I only keep the knife because it was handmade by my uncle, and I like it. And if I needed it, it's there. But once you've been in enough dangerous situations that you shouldn't have really come out of as easily as I have, and as many times as I have, you start to realize you're protected, or there's something else going on. It's not dumb luck, and it's not because I'm good or skillful. I do have combat skill, but that's not ever, it feels like what saves me when it really comes to it. It feels like divine intervention. I'm just going to say it. And once you come and build a relationship up with the higher forces and learn to trust the higher forces, I don't have any fear anymore when it comes to needing to carry a firearm. And I don't have anything against people who carry firearms and like to shoot firearms. They're definitely fun, and honestly, it's not much more. I don't know. There's something about getting in the prone position with an AR-15 and firing off and smelling the powder. I like it. I've trained with the AR-15, and I'm pretty good at shooting it at up to 300 meters. And but I don't need to have firearms around, because the way I look at it is, if I'm in a situation where I need a firearm and the divine forces want me to have a firearm in that situation, one will be around or provided or come into my hands in some way. That's how I look at it. I don't have a fear that makes me want to have a firearm. I look at firearms as, to me, they're a coward's weapon. I'm not saying y'all are cowards if you carry your firearms or anything like that. I'm saying it's a weapon that can make a coward powerful, and it's one of the reasons I really don't like. I don't like them. I don't like anything that can empower somebody who hadn't trained and has no skill and no discipline. That's the main thing. But that's really besides the point. The main point is, I don't feel unsafe as much as I used to, because I'm rooted and I understand how I'm protected, and I choose to trust in that protection and not carry firearms anymore. I used to have a little concealed carry I carried everywhere. It was in a little pouch. It would slip in a little 9mm, and it would hook here and slip in here, and I could pop it out and draw it pretty quickly. Same with my knife. I could draw my knife almost way quicker than I could my firearm. But and I don't really train weapons as much anymore. I can use swords and nunchucks and all that. And if you know about interception, which I should make a video on, you become very efficient with almost any weapon if you can just master interception. I'll tell you that right now. We'll work on that video at some point. But yeah, and that's all comes down to the chakra work, dealing with fear and knowing I'm protected, and not stressing about survival and not stressing about things that you need. Hey, thank you. And I don't really know where I'm going with this. I think I said everything I wanted to say about that. I really want to get into more chakra talk. But we covered in the beginner chakra video that I did. But anyway, yeah, I did my beginner chakra video, and we talked about my 7, 8, 9, basically my 10 favorite chakras, and they're the main ones to me. I know some people have the 7 just the normal 7 as their main chakras, but I like to include the lung chakra behind the heart chakra, and the 1 chakra in the ground, and the 1 chakra above your head. And there's more up there. And these are just energy vortexes. It's you are energy and a frequency, and all these chakras are just parts of you. And I don't really want to sound too crazy, but I look at the chakra system as more of a way of working through. If you go back to the beginning, the first video, it's more like a system of working through emotional baggage for me, and turning that, when you get rid of that baggage, you got better energy flow. And then when you can work your spiritual side and get those energies to meet at the heart and mix, it's just a tool. But there's more chakras. There's chakras in every joint. So you got some in your knees. It's good to rub. It's good to rub your chakras. You got some here, you know, in all your finger joints, and you've got them at the tips of your fingers and at the palms of your hands and the balls. I don't know, the middle of the bottom of your foot. I don't actually know what the ball of the foot is. People say that all the time, all my life, and maybe it's this part here. That's the only guess I got for that. I don't actually know what that is. That's beside the point again. I'm so tangible. Anyway, so yeah, it's good to take care of those. I did a video about meridian slapping, so you can slap these chakras, right? You'll slap the inside there behind the knees, right? Clapping the hands, smack the bottom of the foot, get the ankles, the hips, right, the back. So there's 3 sections of it. There's the section I covered in the beginning, and then there's, like, I don't know, there's the other section, which is more you can identify and learn the names if you want, the number of how many there are, but it's not that important. It's just know at all your vital intersections is the second subsection of the chakras. And then the third subsection of the chakras, they're all really teeny tiny and throughout your body. And the best way I know to connect with them is to just do stuff that relates to your 7 main chakras, especially earth, fire, air, and water, right? So for example, earth chakra at the base, being barefoot on the ground, touching trees, especially touching trees while you're barefoot on the ground. I don't know if you knew this, but you can get energy from the ground. You know, it's the same way like you can use a lemon as a battery or a potato as a battery, right? The earth works the same way as those things. You can use the earth as a battery if you know what you're doing. So, and there's energy in the trees. So standing barefoot on the ground and then touching a tree is a good way to create the connection. Picking up stones, earth-like stuff, right? Just getting your bare skin on earth-like materials will connect all those and fix all those little tiny earth-related chakras. And then for water, having a ritual about drinking water, appreciating your water properly. Maybe you know how when you touch water, it will change depending on who you are. There's a scientist I've talked about before who takes the microscopic pictures of the water, right? And depending on what kind of person touched the water, the molecules in the water will look beautiful like a snowflakes. Or if you're an ugly person, they will not look so very beautiful, right? So having a ritual towards water, whether it's just you pour your water, you let it sit, you look at it, you appreciate it, maybe you put a finger in it so you know that the water is changing, it's basically blessing your own water, and then you drink it. All right, so that will help connect you with all your water chakras, all the hundreds of, maybe dozens of smaller chakras. There's like 100, there's over 100 chakras. There's like, do not quote me on these numbers. Look it up yourself. I'm just telling you what's important to me. But there's my 10 favorite chakras, and then there's like 30, 40, 50 something of the secondary chakras, and then 70, 80 something of the really tiny chakras that you can't really pinpoint that I'm talking about now. So yeah, having a ritual for water. And then fire. That one's pretty self-explanatory. You know, survival stuff. Make a fire. Be around fire. Appreciate fire. That will connect you with your fire chakra. You know, chop wood. One of my favorite quotes is, before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. And air, breath work. That's pretty simple. So doing your breath work will connect you with all your air chakras, right? Now, I don't know enough about the spiritual chakras to go into detail about how you can connect with them, but if we use common sense, getting rid of the ego, which is hard for me, especially if you watch my very earlier videos, especially the one where I teach how to punch properly. I feel like that video is a little too egotistical, but I don't know, maybe not. It's hard for me to analyze and know that, and it's been hard for me to get out of my ego, but I'm trying. Throat chakra. Again, if you're just being truthful and honest, that's probably going to keep all those chakras fine. If you work with your imagination, be creative, write, your third eye chakra and all the little ones associated that they're probably going to be fine. And then again, the crown chakra is the most mysterious one for me, letting in the opening at the top of the head where the divine energy actually comes in. And if you want to do some good chakra work, the way I like it to do it is start with the chakra above the head. So if I'm going to make the sounds that I like to make, you can look up and research your own associated sounds for the chakras, but I'll start with because that's hot air, and I feel like it rises, and it's a representation of the chakra above the head. And I'll start with that one, and for this chakra, and I'll just do one or two. Like, I'll just give you an example. I'll do it faster though, so it's not wasting your time. So I'll start from the top and I'll go to the bottom, and I'll either do 1, 2, or 3, and try to do the sound as long as you can, but without not so long that it becomes hard to do the next sound, right? Just as long as you comfortably can. And then once you get to the bottom, you can go up and stop at whatever chakra you want to work on, and then do that sound maybe for 5 minutes on that chakra, and then quit doing the sounds and focus on whatever it is you need to work on. I don't have a lot of fear issues, a lot more lust issues than I have fear issues, so I stop at the tummy on my way back up and do a lot of and after 5 minutes, then I'll just be focusing on trying to not be in want or wanton. Right. And that's just one kind of meditation that I like to do out of the 3 main meditations that I like to do. The first meditation I ever did was just feeling myself, my true self, my energy, the tingling sensation that is chi or ki, or your frequency or your energy or your true self. Because, you know, we're not our thoughts, we're not our brain, where something I don't quite understand, but it's a vibration, it's an energy, it's a frequency, and I can feel it. And it's just the easiest way. There's some things you can do to feel it in your fingertips the most. In your hands, it's easy to feel it. In the bottom of your feet, they're the easiest places to feel it. And then you can just make that feeling spread and spread and spread and spread and spread until it covers your whole body. So that's another kind of meditation I like to do. And then there's just a breathing meditation where you're focused on breathing, or you can do a meditation where you're just trying to not control your thoughts. Just let them flow, let them go. Try not to focus on them until you're not really thinking like you normally would be thinking. Hard to describe that. So those are 4 kinds of meditations I like to do. And those are ways I like to connect to my 4 elements. I think that's probably good for our second chakra video. I can't think of a lot of distractions out here that really messed up what I wanted to say, but I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I don't know why I got this cough trying to interrupt me all of a sudden. I hadn't been coughing all week long, and now all of a sudden, I don't talk a lot either. So, unless I'm doing these videos, I don't spend a lot of time talking in my day as someone who lives a hermit-like lifestyle. I tend to be just quiet all day long and not say much, unless I feel like talking to the dogs. Some people call me the dog hermit instead of the Gong-Fu hermit because they don't know I do all the training. But yeah, I think that's good. I'll just turn the camera back on if I think of something else. And I remembered the other things I wanted to say. Okay, so why I start at the top and come to the bottom is because I want to get the divine energies going first, right, before I start working on what really needs to work, so that it creates a channel. And then when I finish working, usually I'm working at the tummy, and then maybe in 3 or 4 months I'll finally be done here, and I can work on my ego the rest of the way, and then maybe I'll be living in the heart properly the whole time. But when you're done working at whatever area you're working on, then you can finish by going back to the top again, right? So you get the divine energy, you open the channel all the way through, and then you come back up and you work on it. Another thing you can use for, if you're hot and you're trying to cool down, and thinking about ice, maybe thinking you're in the Arctic or something, and then the cooling water cooling you off, and envision being cool. And then if you're too cold and you want to warm up, you can do the fire noise, ooh, and think about being around a fire, right? That will help you to cool off and or warm up. And dang it, I had another thought, but it's so I might be back again. All right, I remembered my final thought. The sounds. Why I trust the sounds? Because I can feel it. All right, it's harder with the throat one because you're going to feel every sound you make in the throat, right? Is the throat sound. But if I go, I will feel the same vibration. Hey! I'll feel the same vibration that I'm feeling in the throat to make the sound. I'll feel it here in the solar plexus, right? And same with I will feel a vibration more intense in my stomach. It'll be here and here. S, it'll be here and here, right? Harder for me to feel the third eye, but I do feel my third eye a lot sometimes, just during random things, especially when I'm and using my imagination intensely. I will feel crazy intense sensation just focused right there. It's pretty neat. But yeah, play with the sounds. Look up other sounds, you know, and just see if you can feel it too. And if you can, you'll know there's something to it, right? Taking care of this emotional stuff, your fear and your grief and your shame and all the things associated with all of the 7 chakras will also heal your organs, right? I forget which ones are associated with which ones, but your organs are also associated with these chakras, and as you fix them and clear them and vibrate them correctly, your organs will feel better and vibrate better. Breathing deeply into your stomach, using your diaphragm properly, expanding your stomach properly, especially in other positions, like if I were to do something like this, or if I was to do this yoga position. That's why the breathing is so important in all your yoga positions. If you can breathe into your belly in awkward positions, it creates these expansions in this room, and it really helps your organs to heal and feel good and function properly. There is a big connection to proper breathing into the belly and chakra work and your organs that I don't fully understand, but am aware enough to know that it's good for them, and all healthy organs, so always, probably not always had, but yeah.